before going further, just I want to say just a couple of points. When he said going through Abel and go mother, this means, let me explain one more time this point. Actually, fallen Adam is a position of the living Satan. Fallen Adam is in the position of the living Satan. Satan in the flesh. That's why a seed of fallen Adam became the seed of Satan. And the seed of Satan was sown into the womb of fallen Eve. Seed of Satan was sown into the womb of the fallen Eve. And through fallen Eve's womb, the babies were born. First Cain, next Abel, and so on. Therefore, in order to indemnify that cause, this is the cause through which original sin came into existence. Therefore, in order to be born anew without sin, this cause must be indemnified. In order to indemnify that cause, the reversal cause must take place. To do this, from the Cain's position, we go back to Abel's position and go back to the mother's womb. This mother is in the position of fallen Eve. This means sinful Eve. Of course, not against God. She has faith, but she has still fallen original sin. Therefore, Mrs. Che's position was the woman who has absolute faith, but still has original sin. That's a position that time. Then come back to the womb. Then, by loving Father, getting into the bone marrow of Father, now came into Father's core, center. Then this is how this sinless seed was eliminated. And the sinless womb, all eliminated. Then from that, indemnified. Then from this point, new life can begin. From the seed of true Father. That's why by uniting with true Father, by love, conditionally, you can become the seed of true Father, and going through the mother's womb, you can be born without sin. Do you understand what I mean? This is how original sin is eliminated, and we can be born anew without sin. And also, when we are born one more time anew, actually here, before us, there's already true children. That's why this is Abel. Able children means true children must come first. Then based on the foundation of the coming of true children, able child, we can be born as younger brother or younger sister to the father's children. Therefore, in this sense, are the Cain-type children. We are the Cain-type children. Therefore, at the time blessing, usually father let father's own child or children stand in front of us. Then father can bless us. Sometimes father bless his own children first. Then the first generation can be blessed. That's kind of situation. This is how father is doing according to principle. Just additional. Now, let's go back. How is your spouse decided or chosen? Decision belongs to you, okay? Father can choose best one for you, but decision belongs to you. Final decision belongs to you. Sometimes, for instance, there are 1,000 men and 1,000 women. And the father matches back and forth and back and forth. But actually, sometimes, not everyone can be matched. Because sometimes even father cannot find right person at all. In such case, father says, wait until next time. And the father stops the matching. Because father cannot find any right people. Maybe if 2,000 people come, 1,000 men, 1,000 women, usually 100, maybe 50 to 100 people remains. And the father says, I checked everyone, the possibility, but I can't find any right choice. That's why go back and come back next time. Then we may find right person next time. That's what father does. Because father is father. That's why father is not matching just like business. Not that way. Father really want to make you happy as father. That's why if father cannot find the right person to become happy, father doesn't match. That's why his choice, at least in his mind, there's right reason that you can be matched. Then why sometimes difficult choice comes from our own eye? Of course, as we discussed already, father's eye is different from my eye. That's why, even though I feel good, but father cannot feel good. But father can feel good, but I cannot feel good. There are some possible discrepancies. The possible discrepancies, possible gap. Then why this kind of thing can happen? In other words, someone think, that my spouse, my husband, it's really I don't like. What's that? I lost words. 生理的に。Physiologically? I don't like physiologically. Like, he's a nice person. People say he's very nice, but I really don't like him. Even just I feel goosebump. That's kind of feel. How does good adjective or adverb? Eh? Adversion? Feel aversion? Okay, anyway, like that. Then why this kind of thing can happen? Even it is the father's choice. There must be the very deep reason. One, two. Difficulties. One, the reasons of difficulties. Reasons of difficulties. Reasons of occasional difficulties. One, ancestral struggle or ancestral conflict. We don't know what kind of ancestor we have, but sometimes, I don't know so much about Russian history in the past, but there must be many wars and bloodshed. And husband ancestor was a warrior. And the wife's ancestor also someone else, some royal, members. Then this warrior, for some reason, assassinated that person. Then other many generations passed away. But that person was killed physically. But how do I think? That person's spirit self still remains. How I think resentment also remains. Therefore, in the pits of hell, he has that deep resentment to retaliate. That person, enemy. Then, in such case, he won't attack. But also this person also, of course, died. In the spirit world, they don't see each other. But this resentment remains. Then somehow won't retaliate. Then, how to solve these struggles? Actually, sometimes they face each other in the spirit world, because level is so low. Then, in such case, father might match both. Then both are very, very nice person, And seemingly, it's a very nice couple, seemingly. But as soon as they start family, for some reason, whatever, no, because there's a resentment behind, whatever husband does, she doesn't like this person. Just like I mentioned the story of Japanese woman who matched with American brother, no? Whatever he does, I don't like. That kind of conflict might come. Because this resentment is behind. Therefore, externally, there's no substantial reason. He's a nice person. He's an excellent person. Also, he is respected and loved by many people. And yet, I don't like him because of that resentful background. Then, in such case, father sees the ancestors. Then, if father sees a person, this husband and wife, they can, if father sees the possibility of making of victory, then sometime father matches. You can try. Of course, father doesn't explain, but if father sees this man and woman can make it, then he matches. Then, as father expected, actually, a lot of struggle comes, a lot of fight. The very difficult marriage, blessing. But finally, if they can love each other, melt into one, then through this condition, actually the past resentment is restored, is solved. Because each one is representing the past also. You know? Represent the past. Therefore, in this person, there are the historical past of this lineage. In this person, also historical lineage of the past here. That's why you have two lineages fighting against each other, not two persons. As individuals, they are very nice, but background is fighting. Then, when both can love each other, that time, this is just when the struggle between two is solved. It's a solution of the past, because they represent the past. Then, both ancestors can now reconcile and come together, and together they can support from the spiritual world as a good ancestor. Then their marriage become better and better and better, just a wonderful marriage. And children will be blessed a lot. Then this way, the ancestors are liberated, and marriage was successful. Children and descendants are wonderful. What's wrong? When the father sees this kind of situation, instantly, knowing the relationship might be difficult, if father sees the potentiality of victory, father sometimes matches. Try. It might be difficult, but if you are victorious, then your children will be great. Something like that. This relationship is not only just within one, one nation, one race, but between the antagonistic nations, it can happen. For instance, between Japan and Korea, it's very close, but actually a lot of resentment between two, especially from Korean people to Japanese, because Japanese invaded Korea so many times and gave a lot of suffering and tribulation to Korean people in the past. especially past 40 years or 80 years, or even 400 years. Therefore, many Koreans suffered a lot. They resented so deeply. Korean people are very, artistic people, in one sense, emotional people. That's why if deeply wounded, resentment is so deep. Also, if the resentment is solved, the love is so great. That's why, because that the marriage between Korean and Japanese blessing in the beginning had a hard time. Also, many women who went from Japan to Korea didn't have children, couldn't have babies. Do you know why? Because ancestors are so upset. That's why only through the liberation in Cheonpyeong, now many sisters began to have children. Because ancestors are liberated. Korean side, ancestors are liberated. Resentment is solved. This kind of thing is happening. I know one blessing in America. He, brother side, husband, was Jewish, who suffered under, Auschwitz. You know that. Then, wife is a daughter or granddaughter of the man of the Nazi and Jews. As expected, they had a hard time. They both are nice people, nice person. But as soon as they got married, lot of troubles after trouble, difficulties after difficulties. But in my understanding, finally they break through. And children are great. Many children are born. They're excellent. Maybe at least some of the ancestors' resentment of Jews must have been liberated. How the blessing between Russians and Polish? You can make it. Many things. This kind of thing. In other words, our blessing is not just individual or family level. Sometimes this solution of the national level relationships. But also, there is second categories, the amending the fate, destiny, and the fate. Which is stronger?
Fate is stronger word.
But more negative one.
Yes.
Maybe or fate. Amending fate. When the father sees some person, father sees all at once, this young man is very excellent. For instance, A is a very excellent person. This young man is very excellent. But when the father sees, this person cannot live long. He may die around the late 30s or early 40s. he cannot go beyond that. Father sees clearly. But when father sees that brother's capability, that's his potentiality, wonderful potentiality will show up from 40s or 50s or even 60s. Then father feels so bad. From the providential point of view, father feels this person should be protected. Then in such case, father matched with some sister who have kind of I don't know exactly, it's a complementary person. Also, that person also has difficult reason. But anyway, complementary person, just complementary person. And matches. If father sees they could make it. Then, actually, the relationship between husband A and wife B had very difficult time, almost from the beginning. But going through the suffering many years. But if finally they can love each other, they now both paid indemnity of the past, and their fate can be changed, and he can live long. Then when he become in his 40s, 50s, even 60s, he can do the big work for God. Also, wife too. And because of the victory, children are also so blessed. Wonderful children will come. In such case, father, knowing the relationship is difficult, still father matches. There's one real story. In the past, some of course, member, men and women together, have felt, doesn't mean just chapter 2, but had good feeling toward each other. Then they together ask father, is okay? We can be blessed? Then father looked, no good. They went back. But then one more time, they came and asked. Then the father said, if you ask this much, this strongly, I can bless you, but I cannot take responsibility for what may happen. Of course, he didn't say what may happen. Then they received the blessing. But later, husband died when he was still young. Father already saw the possibility of the short life of man. But that's why father said he cannot take responsibility. This is a real story. This way, in such case, if knowing a situation is difficult, father may match you. But there are deep reasons. And in New York, father mentioned, talked this kind of story. You can see on the surface, and the surface of the land, then some trees is growing so wonderful, so beautiful. But root is rotten. Root is rotten. But some just kind of looks like even crippled and just small. But root is so strong like that. Then you see only this one, but you don't see the root behind. But in this case, looks like good, but as time goes by, because this root is rotten, this tree will die away. But this side, even as of now, doesn't look so good, not ideal. But as time goes by, become stronger and stronger and stronger, become a huge tree. Father sees everything and matching, he said. Sometimes, character-wise, no one is perfect. Someone has some strange shape, like that. Then how to make right, They must find the nice partner. Then the partner also should be, partner should be like that. That kind of partner. Maybe okay. That kind of partner. This is the husband, this is the wife. Both are strange person. Both are strange person. But if you can match together, somehow, not perfect circle, but somehow visible. Somehow okay. Then in such case, someone has a nature of the spring, husband has nature of spring, wife has nature of fall season, autumn. The nature of fall season, spring season, spring. It's like warm and embracing, and so nice. And under his guidance, a lot of people can grow a lot. As also, he has a lot of new ideas, exciting ideas. But when the wife comes with scissors, the nature of fall season can see like the blue sky of the fall season, can see far away. That's why at one glance, husband, wife can see that what's wrong with my husband, and even good idea comes, still she doesn't like it. Then with scissors, then here comes the blood bath. That's kind of relationship. But if they can love each other in between nature of spring and nature of fall season, you can embrace all kind of people. Father Matt is also this way. Therefore, these are the reasons why sometimes these are number 3, say others. Other reasons. These are reasons of the difficulties. But if difficulties can overcome, that blessing might be wonderful. And also, before forgetting, already I forget, the 40 days separation, I said, that time, the relationship between husband and wife is relationship between Archangel and Eve. Should they have sexual relationship? Yes or no? Not at all. Therefore, the 40 days separation period, you shouldn't have any sexual contacts. Of course, shaking hand or something, that may be okay, but no sexual contact. with no contact with sexual motivation. Is it clear? Could be clear? That honestly speaking, until you can start family, it's better to keep, better not to have any sexual contacts. Because once started, cannot stop. Therefore, the kissing or touching the breast of a wife or touching another part or sexual part, not like that. Especially no touch with, that kind of part. Especially sexual part or, breast, this kind of things. Never. That's safe. Not because safe, it's against principle. Until you can start family, okay? But it doesn't mean you shouldn't love each other. Because you have to restore the heart. Therefore, in other words, without sexual contacts, you can love internally each other. Writing letters and talking each other, and helping the spiritual aspect of the life of faith, and also helping in his work, or helping his work or her work or her mission or whatever, or writing letter to the family together, something like that, or this kind of things, That's a deep, between two, the deep heart must be, of love can be restored, but without substantial sexual contact. That should be a basic principle, okay? Then now some so then next question comes. The difficulty, the reason for the difficulties. Then number three, then how to overcome. How to overcome difficulties. How to overcome. For instance, when this kind of thing actually happened, then brothers are sitting, many brothers are sitting here, hundreds. And sisters are also sitting here, like that, sisters sitting like this. Then father is going here and there and picking up. Then let one sister stand here. Then, of course, for instance, this brother had some feeling that had a long time had feeling, if I can be blessed with that sister, how happy I'll be. He doesn't say anything, but deep inside, he was feeling that way. Then that sister was now standing in front of father. Wow! Just the heart is beating this much. Then his body is here, okay? His body is here, but his neck, the father is standing here. Father is standing. His neck is short. Father, I'm here, I'm here. Father, I'm here, I'm here. But, just desperate. The body is here, but Father, I'm here, I'm here. But the father didn't see that. And the father came and looked around and said, "Oh, you." Then, it's me. Then he was so happy and he stood up. He says, "No. The man behind you." Then it wasn't him, but he was picked up and went. Oh no, he was so depressed. Then the next sister, then she's gone. The best one is gone. Then another one, little wider, but still he liked it. She's standing. Then, because already the first one is gone, his neck is right around. Father, I'm okay with her. I'm okay with her. But still, father said, "Oh, you." Then actually, he stood up one more time. Then someone, no, that's one. Someone who was sitting just beside him was picked up. And she's gone. Then many are gone. Then finally, someone stood. Then he says, she goes. Father, I'm not here. And then, the father is going back and forth. The father says, "Hey, you over there." Then this brother stood up. Then, no. That's someone who is hiding behind you. He's so shy, that's why he couldn't say anything, That's why he came out and matched with. So she was so powerful. That's why he couldn't say anything before her. And she said, let's go together let's go together. And then they said, yes. Then the next moment, and go together and bowed before true parents. Then that day is the last day of his. The sun is darkened. The moon does not give light anymore. The stars fall from heaven. And then how to do is that. Then what should we do? And this is a kind of joke, but there's some meaning. In other words, then how to overcome the difficulties. For instance, that's very difficult. First of all, the faith in Father is the most important point. Then the reason why Father picked up that person as my spouse. From my eye, I cannot see any ideal. It's totally opposite from my ideal person. But I'm matched, I'm blessed. How to do? Then, since Father is Father, God is Father, there's no difference between God and Father, Father choice, God choice and Father choice. Then, even though I don't see the greatness in him or in her, but God sees and the Father sees. That's the reason Father picked up. The diamond, there must be diamond, which is the best in the world for me. Most beautiful diamond in the world for me. Best person, best possible person for me. But that diamond is not seen yet. Must be buried so deep. Therefore, my mission is to dig out that diamond. It may take many, many years. That should be the starting point of solution of difficulties. Solution of difficulties. First of all, you have to, clean up the bushes and chase out rats and snakes. But sometimes, while you are cleaning the bushes, you may have trouble with thorns, and you may bleed. And when you're digging out the stack, then you may make mistake, and you may be injured. With a lot of bandage still on your leg, still you are digging and digging and digging. And maybe 2 meters, 3 meters. Then here comes mud or clay. Then this is so hard, but still you continue another 3 meters. Then here comes the sand. not only sand, the waters begin to come. Then if you are digging the well, that's good, but actually not. Because a lot of water comes. How much you may do, the water comes and comes. It's impossible. Then now with pump, take out water, always. Needs a lot of investment. Money is needed to buy that instrument. Then, now going through another 5 meters. Now you hit the rock, big rock. No way. Then asking professionals and drilling that and breaking through that rock, maybe 7 meters down, then put the dynamite, maybe 500, maybe 200 kilogram dynamite, and just explode. And that explosion, the piece of the rock hit him, and leg is wounded. But still, it's crippled. But still, you continue take out that piece of rocks. Then under the rock, another sand and water. No way. Then the muddy clays. Then another rock. Totally hopeless. After many, many years of investment, almost giving up. But one more time, that they exploded the rock. Then underneath the rock, there's finally, after 15 years, 70 years, 20 years of digging, finally reached the layer of diamond. But diamond is still, raw. It's not polished at all, not cut, not polished. Then asking help from the professional. And polish and cut and polish a diamond. Then finally, just when you see the shining diamond, your heart will quiver because of joy. Finally, I found it. This diamond, just for me, the best diamond in the universe, is given to me. Do you know what do I mean by diamond? In other words, God-given nature of that person. Original nature of that person, which is just fit to me. And you'll be deeply moved and touched. And embracing your husband, whom you hated a long time, or wife whom you didn't like long time, cry out of joy. And tears of gratitude runs over his cheeks, or your cheeks. And you feel, thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, Father. You are right. He's best husband in the universe. She's the best wife in the universe. I love him. I love her. Never, never, never be separated. We love each other forever. It is a victorious blessing or failed blessing. victorious or failed. Victorious blessing. In the beginning, they look like an impossible case. But ultimately, it's the best possible blessing from God. If even one couple like that, difficult couple, makes such a breakthrough, how many of the difficult breast couple could have hope, can have hope? If this testimony is given to the world, entire breast couple family will be deeply moved and impressed, and they can have hope. Then if such a breakthrough is made after such an investment, God will bless them, a lot, indefinitely. And children, grandchildren, and descendants will prosper because of that victory. This is the victory of the blessed family. Many of the blessed couple gave up, or even didn't accept, even without trying. Then what is this shovel, or what is a drill by which he or she made breakthrough of the rock? What is the dynamite? Dynamite of what? Love. Sacrificial love. That's our only weapon to make breakthrough the difficulty between husband and wife in that sense. This is the same principle as the restoration of the elder sonship. Any broken human relationship can be solved by that one principle or one weapon of true love, sacrificial love. Then what does it mean substantially? We have tendency to judge the spouse with the standard of our own ideal. Oh, my husband should be this way. Or you have set standard. But when your husband doesn't fit to that, doesn't match that standard, judgment will begin. He's not so powerful. He's not, he's not so wise. And that he's so, stingy. Oh, I really don't like him. Something like that. So what advice one is don't judge your spouse with the standard of your ideal. There's one real story. As an 1800 couple went to the world, the missionaries. Some of the missionaries from that, world mission work must have come to Russia. one of the, I'm talking about yeah. Then after around 7 or 8 years of missionary work, Japanese missionary went back to Japan for the training, retraining. And father asked me to go back and take responsibility for that 120 days workshop. That time, actually, this is one real story. At the time, one American, one German, and one Japanese, 3 missionaries went together to one country, over 120 nations, 127 nations the first time. Of course, some are very victorious, but unfortunately, some are not so victorious. And out of 3, American and German and Japanese, honestly speaking, Japanese missionary had the hardest time. Because Americans can speak English very well, of course. Then wherever you may go, actually, there's no nation where English doesn't work at all. That's why even some, to some extent, they can work with English. Of course, in the English-speaking country, there's no problem at all. Germans, the system of languages are almost same. Also, terminology is very similar. That's why they're quick to learn English. You can learn English quick, is it right? That's why the Germans and Americans can communicate very well soon. And Japanese language is totally different system. That's a very difficult to learn either English or Germans. Very difficult. Takes many, many years, and they still cannot speak. For instance, English professor of English literature in Tokyo University came to America, but he's teaching about the Shakespeare in Tokyo University. But he cannot go to the shopping center to buy anything, because his English doesn't work in reality at all. That's the situation. Therefore, actually, for the Japanese missionary, they couldn't understand English so well, maybe a little bit, only a little bit. And can understand German, of course. Also, cannot understand the local languages. Nothing. Then also, if the Japanese person doesn't say anything, sometimes they are misunderstood that they don't know anything. But inside, they have feeling that there are 1,800 couples. That's why, so in terms of blessing, is ahead of American members or German members. Some pride inside. But this pride is deeply, hurt. But as in terms of external capability, no way. Of course, American members and German members doesn't have any animosity at all, but nevertheless, communication is so difficult. Therefore, sitting behind, without being able to communicate with American, German, or local people, and sitting in the room many, many months and years. Do you think your spirit could be uplifted? Totally depressed. Not every case, but some case. Some Japanese are very victorious, successful, but some had very difficult time. Then, for them, the only hope was the coming of wife. If only wife can come and help me, I can do again. That was their feeling. Then now time had come when the wife came from Japan. Their wives are excellent women who are very victorious in fundraising, especially through ginseng tea selling, ginseng extract selling. That's an expert. These sisters, wives, came with great expectation for their husbands. Because the husband didn't send a letter of so negative, no? I have no power anymore, please come and help me. Difficult to say that. That's why I didn't send such a letter. Oh, I'm okay, this kind of a letter. Then when the wife came, soon the wives found out the reality of their husband. Then, after a while, the judgment began. With instead of warm, embrace, what the husband received was a sharp, sword. Japanese sword. Do you know that? That all at once there was a bloodbath. Then lost spirit completely because of wife. Why? The husband was waiting for wife. If only wife can come, I can do one more time. But it became judgment. And the husband became more, depressed. No power anymore. Then I told to them, wife, you are wrong. You judged your husband with your ideal. But your husband was not ideal. You cannot find any ideal husband wherever you may go. That's a put that ideal, that sword behind. You don't have to throw away that ideal standard, but just put aside and embrace the husband wherever he is. Wherever he is, go down to that place and embrace him in tears. Only when husband sees tears from the eyes of the wife, then the husband can stand up one more time. Now I have wife. Wife really can understand my situation. And when I see the tears from my wife, now I have courage. I want to challenge once more. This is how husband was supposed to stand up. But it didn't work. This kind of situation may happen in our blessing. Therefore, I'm not denying to have ideal image, vision, ideal toward your spouse. But when your spouse is not ideal, don't judge your spouse with the standard of ideal, but put it aside and go down and stand the same ground, even under that spouse, and embrace your spouse with tears, in tears, and melt into one. From that point, that your spouse can begin to rise. He can have motivation to rise up. or she can have motivation to rise up. Then you can now help so that your spouse can be stronger and stronger and go higher and higher. Then your spouse and yourself together can be victorious. This is advice number 1. Number 2 is instead of asking your spouse to be as you want him or her be like. Does this English make sense? Is okay? Try to be as your spouse wants you to be like. Does it make sense? Sometimes we ask our spouse to be wonderful, as you like. But don't you think your spouse all has a big desire for you? Even bigger desire for you. But you don't try to respond to her desire, hope. And you push your desire and hope to your spouse. That destroys your own spouse and yourself. There's one, I think one story. This is a real story. Father matched one husband, man. He's a kind of little feminine husband, feminine looking, femininely behaving husband. Feminine husband and masculine wife. Feminine husband and masculine wife. As was expected, a lot of difficulty began between two. But the wife wasn't so stupid. Do you know what did she do? One day, she asked the husband, "Can you tell me, before the blessing, what kind of sisters did you like before the blessing?" This doesn't mean chapter 2 issue, but even you don't have such a feeling of the foreign feeling, but still you have some feeling that I like that sister. I like that sister. I don't like that one. This kind of feeling. Surely, because the nature is different. Then husband said, "Oh, yeah, sister A, sister B, sister C." He gave some name. Then this wife went to sister A and talked. Then realized this sister is totally different from her. Do you understand? Totally different from her. Then went to sister B and talked with her. Then also she was totally different, actually different from sister A, but of course, totally different from her. From her. And she went another person C. Also, this is another different person. From her, also from A and B. But when she thought, is there any common factor among three? Then picked up, oh, could be factor one, this, it's common factor. That must be the nature by which my husband was attracted. Doesn't make sense? Maybe this is a womanliness. Which she had a hard time. Then, in order to inherit this character, this nature, she made utmost effort, several months, desperately to change herself. Somehow to cultivate the womanly nature from inside. She made utmost effort. Then after several months, or maybe 1 year, the husband dropped only one word. You changed a little bit. In order to earn this one word, she struggled, suffered 6 months or 1 year. But in order to receive this one word, but this is a victory. Actually, now that husband and wife, the very wonderful husband and wife, and wonderful children, and a wonderful mission. Trusted and loved by Father. Isn't this wise? In other words, this is what I said. Well, instead of asking the spouse to be like as you want to be, try to be like your spouse to be like. This is a very difficult thing, to change character, to change the way of life, to change personality. It's really difficult. It's just incredible struggle. But you have to go through this one. Otherwise, you cannot restore the relationship. That's the meaning of sacrificial love. This is a practical aspect of sacrificial love. Sacrificial love does not mean just go out and making money and bringing something to your wife. That's not just sacrificial love. Usually that kind of thing doesn't work so much. Of course, sometimes it works. No? The changing of your own character, changing of your personality, changing of your intention, changing of your commitment to God's will, to accomplish God's will. That kind of things, it's a big issue. This is the meaning of love. Then advice number 3. It's make your house, your home, the home of prayer and Word of God. Reverend Wompill Kim advised, you should witness between husband and wife to each other. Husband should witness wife, wife should witness husband. Always they should be talking about their own spiritual life, about prayer, about Cain and Abel, about the relationship with true parents, about the providential God, always talking about, always the topic of that family talk. A talk between husband and wife should be centering on the Word of God. You have to begin from the beginning. If you don't do anything like that, your blessed couple become like an outside couple, outside the husband and wife. Only after the blessing, many years after the blessing, still in the house, the contents of this talk is about the contents of the refrigerator. Do you have egg now? Do you have apple? How many apples in the refrigerator? Didn't you eat didn't you eat the watermelon already? Did you left something for me? No, I ate everything. Then fight begins. And what kind of toy should we give to the kids? What kind of school should be chosen for kids? How to make money for the school education? How to pay the debts? Electricity is broken. What should we do? Only this kind of thing. What's the difference from outside marriage? Spirit is low. And the family cannot be the place where you can really feel joy and happiness. Then sometimes even, even blessed husband begin to drink. Because husband doesn't understand the principle so well. Sometimes husband make mistake with other women outside. It's a mess. It's a mess. Therefore, about I say honestly talk to each other. I feel a little so bad because I cannot pray recently. I don't know why. Then the husband and wife talk deeply, and if wife had hard time to pray, then husband can help the prayer, and if husband had hard time to bring in the breakthrough of some spiritual life, then wife can help and to pray together with husband. This way, helping each other, always the Word of God should be the center of the family. And also prayer also should be the center of the family. especially sister's responsibility is so important. Sister's responsibility is so important. Because the wife is in the position of bride of the Messiah. That's why the relationship between wife and true father is a lifeline of the blessed family. Do you understand? As I mentioned here, Russia, true father and true mother and the blessed wife is in the position of the bride of the Messiah. Therefore, the spirit of the wife will decide the spirit of the family, blessed family. If the lifeline between true father and wife is cut, that blessed family is dead. Husband is more archangelic, externally capable, but internally low. Therefore, if wife is praying so deeply, and in front of the picture of the true parents, wife sits down and pray in tears. Then husband comes and sits down. Instead of praying, watching the tears of wife. Wow. Are you shedding tears? How it is possible to cry just by seeing the picture of true parents? I don't understand. Honest feeling. Then it continues every day, every day, every day. Then, wow. She must have very deep relationship with father. Yeah, I'm far away. I'm Cain. I'm really archangelic. I'm far away from father. Yeah, I have to change my heart. Now he began to realize he himself must change the direction of heart toward true parents. The tearful prayers of wife will change the heart of husband. Just, talking, listening lecture doesn't work. But tears of wife, tearful prayer of wife will change the spiritual life of husband. Then when you have baby, leaving your little baby on the lap, and the baby is sleeping in peace, and mother is praying in tears, and tears drop on the cheeks of the little baby. If the little baby is raised this way, this baby, when he or she grows up, this baby, this child must become a wonderful child, faithful and pious child, will never be deviated from God's will, God's way. Therefore, prayer and Word of God, your house should be filled with prayer and Word of God, always. You should begin from the beginning of the family life. Otherwise, when some pattern of your family life is set, wrong, unprincipled pattern is set, then you try to change, it becomes very difficult. That's why even on the beginning, it is kind of strange, not common sense, but still you should discuss and decide and do it from the beginning. Then it will become the pattern of your family life, blessed family life. Then blessed family will be very victorious. When I was working in America, I had a lot of communication with ministers. There's one good minister. It's a congregational church pastor. He was old, that time almost 70 years. Wife also almost 70 years. But they're very nice people. And husband and wife are so close and intimate. Even I felt, I never seen such a intimate husband and wife. Wherever husband is, wife is. Wherever wife is, husband are around. They are not so talking so much, but I felt they're so close. Then we were driving together. Then husband and wife, the pastor's husband and wife together, were sitting in the back seat. I was in the front seat. Then I asked, I've never seen such a wonderful husband and wife, so intimate and peaceful. Can you tell the secret? Then husband didn't say anything. Then wife began to talk a little bit. Actually, nothing special, she said. But when we married, we made an agreement, commit together. Just one agreement. Listen, until we came to the agreement, we let not put it into practice. This is the only promise between two. That's it, he said. Then they practiced. In the beginning, they took little time to come to agreement because of different opinions. But they kept that commitment. Then gradually, they found that they didn't need discussion anymore. Husband could understand the wife's feeling all at once, at one glance. And also wife could understand the husband's feeling at one glance. And just to walk together peacefully. That's it. This might be a good idea. And she said, because we have same faith, therefore, in the beginning there's a big difference of the opinion, because faith is one. That's why we came to agreement. Fortunately, in our case, also we have same faith. That's why surely we can come to agreement. Therefore, if we can take this advice, surely your family life should be the wonderful, blessed family life. So, is there any question? Actually, there is one more issue. In other words, this is a serious issue about the mistakes of the Bruce family. I have talked about that one, but maybe now I can finish. It's a good time? From 7, before 7 we must be there. Okay, thank you.
Присоединитесь, пожалуйста, к моей молитве. Дорогой наш Отец Небесный, мы так хотим выразить Тебе благодарность от самой глубины нашего сердца, потому что мы сейчас могли чувствовать, Отец, как ценно по-настоящему Твое Слово, Отец. Мы получили столько мудрейших советов, Отец, которые Ты накапливал, Отец, в людях на протяжении всей истории, пока не появились истинные родители, и Ты не смог выразить их полностью, Отец, выразить всю эту свою мудрость, Отец, свою любовь, свое понимание, как мы должны действовать, чтобы стать счастливыми, чтобы доставить радость друг другу, Отец, и чтобы найти эту истинную любовь, это сокровище, Отец, в каждом, друг в друге, Отец. Отец Небесный, спасибо Тебе большое за то, что, Отец, Твое Слово, пропущенное через сердце преподобного Суда, Отец, могло дойти до наших сердец, могло тронуть их, Отец. И мы хотим обещать Тебе, что действительно мы каждое слово, Отец, Твое мы пронесем, Отец, в течение всей нашей жизни, так, чтобы действительно смочь воплотить полностью Твой идеал. Отец, на нашем пути много трудностей. Я так горячо молюсь о том, чтобы каждая из благословленных семей, Отец, могла решить все проблемы, Отец. Действительно, это непростой путь восстановления. Отец, и мы здесь для того, чтобы понять, как идти им, Отец, чтобы действительно прочувствовать глубоко, в чем наши трудности, Отец, и справиться с ними. И мы обещаем Тебе, Отец, и мы хотим, чтобы это чувствовал тоже преподобный Суда, как мы полны решимости, Отец, и как мы полны вдохновения идти этим путем, Отец, и осуществить все, что Ты хочешь, Отец. Мы очень хотим восстановить Твое сердце. И мы, Отец, с благодарностью и смирением приносим эту молитву во имя наших истинных родителей. Аминь.
Now dinner time.